Hey there, Dr. Todd Cameron here, GP and co-founder at M3 Health. Today I want to chat to you about the opportunity for a vocationally registered GP to become the medical director at our Ascot Vale clinic. Now, our Ascot Vale clinic does require somebody fairly soon. So we are looking for somebody to start within 4 weeks or less in this location. If that sounds like you, then continue to watch this. If you know that you're not ready to move now, that's fine. Please send through an inquiry, but we will not be considering you for this first position, that's all. So this is a vocationally registered GP. It could be an academic exemption if you have VR status, just because we have good relationships with the universities. We do have medical students and GP registrars in our practices. And so if you have an education background and you require a DPA, then still submit a request and begin a conversation. I'd love to have a chat to you about that. Ascot Vale, most of you will know where Ascot Vale is. It's right near the showgrounds, of course. Flemington Racecourse around the corner, a really, really lovely suburb, being well gentrified and has a greatly diverse population, which makes it a really interesting area. Like most suburbs in Melbourne, there are around about 15,000 people in Ascot Vale, but the catchment area is more like 75 to 100,000. Fairly big area, lots of high density infill development, and so plenty of patients around. As I talked about earlier, there is some diversity there. You know, if you want to buy a house in this area, you know that you will be needing to spend well north of $1 million, but it also includes housing commission, and so there are people that have substantial socioeconomic disadvantage in this area, which is worthwhile considering. But it does mean that you've got a very diverse patient population to look after. This is how we have redesigned our values in our practice. These are test values, so we are just testing them all. Love what you do is a value that we have had in our practice for many years now. We all spend a lot of time in our workplace. It is very important that we love what we do. Now, it might be that you don't actually get to loving it, and I'm going to say that's okay, but you should never loathe it or be ambivalent about it, because it does make a big difference. Ultimately, we all have a responsibility to make an impact in our communities with healthcare and on ourselves, and that impact needs to be positive. We need to not be giving up more time than what we are willing to give up, and we need to get a financial return for that. That is what I mean by love what you do. You're going to hang out with the people there for a fair bit of your life too, so you better make sure that you love those people. And let me move my face around because I'm in the road. You need to have adaptive teams. You know, COVID has taught us that doing things the same old way without changes or pivots, if you want to use an overused word, then that's going to create problems for all of us. So we need to be adaptable. That means flexible. That means thinking that unpacks the contribution of all of the people in the team. It means psychologically safe spaces, and it means a willingness to experiment. If we don't experiment, we can't get better. And so it is important that we're okay with making mistakes. It's normal to make mistakes if you're improving. And let me move myself again. Oops. We want to be, as well as being responsive, we need to be proactive, which means being ahead of the game. We can anticipate some of what will happen and not all of it, but that's about our quarterly planning cadence and making sure that we are ahead of the game and getting ready for the things that we see might be coming down the pipeline. We're going to need to do that collaboratively and together. And again, this is a fun space if we do it really well. I am excited about that. And high performance teams involve psychologically safe spaces. That means quality of voice, and that we actually can test ideas. And when we don't know, and the truth is in most cases, we don't actually know what will work. We just run more experiments than most. We don't spend a lot of time arguing over what's right or what's wrong, because the truth is we don't know, and what worked in a different environment may not work in the one that we are talking about now. So now, this is about how right are we for you. Now, you just heard our values. We do have an experimental mindset. We want to be at the lead. We understand that a general practice is about bringing two communities together, GPs and patients, and we are the marketplace in between. We need to provide all of the tools, facilities, and support for you to succeed. And our mission is to actually create an environment where you can succeed. You need to feel like you can win. We understand GPs because I'm a GP. I think I've recruited somewhere in the range of 120 to 150 GPs over my lifetime. I have worked with a lot of people and in high performance environments. So I enjoy working with people that raise really good quality questions and have high personal standards and commit to excellence themselves and in their work. We want to find ways to offload the work that you do that is unnecessary. And we are a fan of the 4-day week. So, we're not fans of the 60, 65-hour a week GP. We know that performance drops off with time. So we want to try and create an environment that works really well for you. We know medical directors need time to lead. And so that might be a 3.5 or 4-day week. That's fine. We'll work with you to actually find out what's right for you right now. And for our MDs, they need to have, I'll go to the next slide here. I think we'll have a little bit more detail. Mixed billing, yeah. So this is a mixed billing clinic. In actual fact, it is our most financially rewarding practice for the GP that works there, and that's just because of the systems, processes, and the patient avatars that we have that are part of this. We'll chat more about that if it's right for you. We will put our money where our mouth is. If you are the right person, then we'll put in place a $200 per hour guarantee for the first 3 months that you're in the clinic. We don't play any games with that. If it turns out that you start on the 5th of the month, then it's 3 months plus the off cut of the month. So could be as high as just under 4 months that we guarantee that for. That's because our ambition is that as the right person, you would have higher earnings than that as a result of your consulting. And there is a medical director fee that we'll be paying on top of that. You need to be curious. You need to love better, and you need to enjoy improving templates, processes, you name it. And you may be involved in interviewing GPs in the practice that are appropriate for the clinic. Of course, you'll have a big say in that. And we would love you to contribute to huddles within the practice. Huddle is 5 or 6 minutes of your time daily just to get the most out of the team that you lead. This is what the clinic looks like. The clinic has been around for a long time. It has 5 or 6 consulting rooms, depending on exactly where the treatment room goes. It's a lovely space that's been around for a long time. We gave it a repaint and a rebrand, of course, as joining the M3 Health family. This is how we approach getting the best out of you as a GP. Just at the center of this, you'll see that we want to have GPs operating in their maximum genius zone. That involves premium pricing, making an impactful influence in your community and on yourself. And in order to do that, you're going to need to have a team that supports you so that it feels like it is a relatively effortless ease. We do that through having patients that are chosen by you from any to your choice, the environment that is designed for, to designed by, and systems that move from haphazard to slick. That is our ambition. That is not all in place now, but we are working towards this. And we know that if you have patients and environment but no systems, then what you have is no reliability and very little reproducibility, so quality can be lower. If you have environment and systems but no patients, then clearly you have no business. And sometimes it's not just no patients, but it might be not the right patients for you. And lastly, if you have patients and systems but no environment, you have no home. And again, that affects consistency, reliability, and your bond to the workplace is also impacted by that. Worry about those things around the outside in a bit more detail. The medical director role, that's what this is about. And so if you send me a message to make an inquiry, please make sure you reference that's for the MD role. I would like to know that. This is your invitation to actually make that inquiry if you could. If you're interested, as I said, it needs to be prompt. It needs to be within 4 weeks if you want to take this role. Once the MD role is gone, it is gone. There is one only. So this is an invitation for you to do one of two things. If you think this is you, please send through an inquiry by mobile or email, and I'm going to give you those numbers in a second. If you are seeing this on a social media platform, LinkedIn or Facebook, then you can just apply through the platform link. That's fine. Send me a message any way you like. It is pretty easy to get a hold of me. So here is the invitation. When you send through the request, and these are my personal details, so please do not abuse them. If you know this is you, then I'd love you to send me a CV to my email or just text me Ascot Vale Medical Director to my mobile number, and we'll have a bit of a conversation about it. If you think this is somebody that you know, please send this on to them, because I would love for the right person to get the right opportunity to do this right now. So if it's not you, but you know somebody who is, please forward it. Otherwise, I greatly look forward to having a chat to whoever the right person might be. Thank you for your time and attention. Have an awesome day. I've been Todd Cameron. Bye.